So this video, I'm gonna talk about the habits that I've practiced over the past few years so that I can actually accumulate this $100,000 that I've managed to accumulate at this point of time. Now, in my previous video, I'm gonna put my link up over here, and as well as the description below is a breakdown of my $100,000 portfolio. And in this video, as mentioned, the key habits that I've practiced closely since the start. Now, is it easy? Hell no, man. It actually takes a lot of discipline, careful planning, and constant review of my current status. And then from there, I adjust accordingly, and I managed to reach to the point where I am right now. But is it worth it? Yes, a definite yes. And therefore, this video, and the only regret I have is actually not starting it earlier. Now, it's never too late, and you can start it today. Anyone can start it today, so long you have the heart to do so. And let's start. Now, the key habit number one is to start small. And when I say start small, it's something that is so small, which is so easy to implement. And yes, I started off by actually saving coins. So, like day by day basis, we would actually spend some money. Although now a lot is through digital, but a couple years ago, when a lot is still by cash, I actually save the coins that I have after each day. And once at the end of the day, I literally would deposit into this sort of a piggy bank, so to speak, at home. And when it accumulates to a certain value, say a certain $50 or $100, I would then deposit into a bank account, which I've already sort of set aside to save. And next is to ideally put this money aside, which is sort of inconvenient to get it out, if you get what I'm trying to say. So in the process of it, from the first key habit, I selected a bank account in which I actually have no ATM access to it. And so therefore, for me to withdraw any amount from that is pretty hard. And then comes key habit number three. I went one level even higher, whereby I managed to research and found a way to actually make it even harder to withdraw, and that's our Singapore savings bonds. I realized that after research about it, once I accumulate a minimum of $500, I can actually put into these bonds, and these bonds is actually a 10-year period of time. It's very safe because basically it's just from the government. And when I realized that the interest that I can actually earn from it is actually higher than a savings account, I thought, wow, this is a sort of a win-win situation. I can put my money aside and I can earn higher interest as compared to the savings account. What's more, why is it harder to withdraw? Is because upon, say, a certain point of time, I really need, say, the money, and I really need to withdraw, it actually takes about a month before I get my money back. And so therefore, it makes it even harder to withdraw. And what's more, because once you put it aside, you tend to not see it per se, because it's at your savings bonds account. So it's pretty much easily forgettable, and therefore out of sight, out of mind. And with out of sight, out of mind doesn't mean that you just totally forget and not know that the money is there, but in a sense that once it's out of sight, you can sort of not have that temptation to go and withdraw it out. Now, come key habit number four is, once I developed this, say, good habit of saving, because I started small, right? So therefore it's easier, and it became a habit. And after a period of time, I realized that, hey, I can actually save more. So what happens is I then dive deeper into my then the current income level, and decided on a certain savings rate that I felt was comfortable. In the end, I decided to save at 5%, and if with 5% is basically starting small again, so that it again makes the process of it a lot more easier and achievable. Now, you might actually ask, why put a certain percentage and not say a certain figure? Because I wasn't self-employed, I am still self-employed. By putting a certain percentage, it actually allows the figure to be adjusted according to the income level, if that actually makes sense. So if I had actually put a certain figure to it, let's say for example $500 a month, in the month where actually I have higher income, I could have actually saved more. But in a month where, let's say, it was lower income, I might feel that it's a bit more tight. So with a percentage that's being set, it's a lot more easier, so to speak. Now, once that is done, with that 5% that's determined, what happens is I need to get this order right, which is to save first and then spend later. And this is actually the most important habit, so to speak, in this whole video. Now, what happens is whenever my money comes in, what happens is the income that comes in, I'll first set the money aside, which is the 5%, and I'll then chuck it, transfer it, put it into that, so to speak, the other bank account, which is hard to withdraw. And what happens is with that remaining 95% of money that's left, what I actually find out is our human survival instinct will actually kick in, and we will actually somehow spend whatever that's remaining. And so therefore I'm able to save, and I'm able to control my spending in this case scenario. And therefore it comes to the next spending habit, the key habit of being able to save, which is to spend within my means. So I need to therefore ensure I do not overspend, and because the money is sort of put aside in that sense, the account that I get access to, I always had the feel that I actually do not have enough money. And with the thought of I do not have enough money, I actually had to think twice when I need to spend. So of course the usual comparison of the particular product or say a service, was it a necessity or was it purely a want? If it's a necessity, fine, go ahead. But if it's a want, which is most likely the case, usually I'll just put it aside, and therefore being able to spend within my means. Now, key habit 7, which is to constantly review and also remember. Let me explain. So at periodic times, I'll actually look back at how much savings I've accumulated, even though I kind of like know at the back of my mind, but just to visually being able to see that, let's say I've accumulated $5,000, and then let's say the next milestone of $7,000, $7,005, $10,000, it actually helps to indirectly motivate me, and also to keep this in mind, to reaffirm my actions that whatever I've done in the past is correct, and therefore I got this so-called achievement whereby the amount that I've saved so far, and with that it can actually help me to push forward and to continue the habits that I've already worked on since day one. Now, next key habit number 8 is actually to then take another step further, which is to invest. Now, I realize that savings alone, yes, is a good practice, but however, it will take a much longer time in terms of getting, say, a certain amount of milestone, and therefore I felt investing was the next step. Of course, it did help that I had background in accounting and finance, and so certain financial jargons or whatnot, I do need to review it back, go and learn it back. I did spend some time to go and study and to re-understand what the whole stock market is about, and thereafter spending more time even to pick higher quality stocks, not stock but stocks, of course, along the way. And that's key habit number 9, which is to rinse and repeat, which is to repeat the whole process again, whether is it the savings portion, the amount that I'm saving, which is in percentage, the time by time to review the savings level that I'm at, and also review certain mistakes that I've made, say in the stock market as well. I also tried different means of increasing certain interest rates, whereby, let's say for example, there's the treasury fund whereby it's a 6-month period of time. However, I actually felt that doesn't really suit my taste, so after trying once, I realized that's not, and then therefore I just continue on with the Singapore savings bonds. So that's just an example of learning from my mistakes. And also, one of the main priority, I realized that I have to work towards not losing my money, and therefore the risk management that I need to take has to be cautious, and the stocks that I pick has to be after a certain amount of time, after I study them and I have a certain amount of confidence that I'm able to get my money back or rather I can able to grow my money from over time, and if not years, so to speak. Right, and therefore that's the end of the video. Do like, share and subscribe, and hopefully you can comment also, like if you have reached to a certain amount of time, amount of savings level, how do you do it? Is it the same? Is it different? If not, you can take a look at this video on my 100,000 portfolio, and I hope to create another video again to share more about my journey. With that, I'll see you in the next video.